This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. In the last session, we were talking about document splitting. We understood in the document splitting, it is all about updating profit center at every document level or at every transaction level. Reason being, in SAP, without profit center, no accounting document can be recorded, no accounting document can be posted. Now let's try to understand when it comes to document splitting, we have three levels in SAP to split document for preparing financial statements. We have three levels in SAP to split a document for preparing financial statement. Now, here, first one is your profit center. Second one is segment. Third one is your business area. Okay, you can split a document at profit center level. You can split a document at segment level. We can also split a document at business area level. These are the three levels at which document can be split for the purpose of preparing financial statement. When you're talking about financial statement, again we need to understand. If I put financial statements, these are basically representing trial balance, profit and loss statement, and then balance sheet. The whole objective of preparing your document splitting is to make sure financial statements can be generated at this level. The whole objective is to make sure financial statements are generated at this level. I mean, at document profit center level, or at a document segment level, or at a document business area level. Again, from these three levels, not everything is mandatory. Profit center is mandatory in every project or in every client or in every company. Everywhere this is mandatory. Wherever you're working on SAP, it is standard. By default, profit center level document splitting is mandatory. By default, profit center setting at document splitting is mandatory. Segment, this is optional. Segment is optional. Business area, we don't use it. Okay, this is, let's say, very rare, very rarely used. So as it is very rarely used, you can ignore it. When I say you can ignore it, tomorrow somebody might definitely put a question, what is document splitting, at what level you worked on document splitting? Always make sure profit center is mandatory, because no SAP system works without document splitting at profit center level. Having known at profit center level document splitting is mandatory, you'll have to remember in such a way that whosoever is asking you tomorrow, you strictly mention document splitting at profit center level is what you defined in your project or is what was in place in your project. Segment level is optional. Whether you tell, you do not tell, it is still okay. But tell that if you are comfortable, you can mention, yes, we were working on document splitting, or we activated document splitting at two level, at profit center level, at segment level. This is fine. But business area, do not mention anywhere. Upfront, you can tell in our project, in our client, we are not using business area level document splitting. This is okay. And the whole objective of document splitting is to generate financial statement like trial balance, P&L, balance sheet. So what you can do here, you can generate a trial balance at profit center level, or at segment level, or at business area level. Similarly, you can generate profit and loss statement at profit center level, at segment level, or at business area level. Or balance sheet can be generated at profit center level, at segment level, or at business area level. Likewise, any accounting report that you generate in SAP, any accounting related report that you generate in SAP can be bifurcated as per your segment, as per your profit center, as per your business area. Reason, at every accounting document, debit and credit level, these are being updated and these are becoming zero at a transaction level with this filter. Okay, these things we need to understand. And next thing, we have three types of document splittings. Three types of document splitting. When we talk about three types of document splitting, we need to understand first point is your active document splitting. Second one, passive document splitting. Third one, zero balance document splitting. Active document splitting, passive document splitting, and then zero balance document splitting. These three things you need to remember. This is also mandatory point that will be asked in your interviews. Okay, these three things also you need to remember. Next one, document splitting is exclusively used for Subledger postings in SAP. Okay, this is exclusively used for Subledger postings in SAP. When you're talking about Subledger posting, we have three subledgers. One is here vendor subledger. Second one is customer subledger. Third one is fixed asset. This is also subledger. These are the three screens, or these are the three accounts which are basically represented as subledger posting. Next thing, this point also you need to remember. I'm not going in detail, just giving you a high level understanding, so that once you read through this, once you're familiar, comfortable with these points, once we start posting the debit credit accounting entries, it will be more easier for everybody to be more confident. These are the subledgers. Next one, accounting document in SAP has below views. First one in ECC and second one in S/4HANA. When you're talking about an ECC, there are two views. One is your entry view, two is general ledger view. When it comes to S/4HANA, these two are common. Third one is your asset view. Asset view. These three also we need to remember. Okay, now document splitting functionality can be seen in general ledger view of an accounting document. Okay, document splitting functionality can be seen in general ledger view of an accounting document, which means this general ledger view is applicable, is available in both ECC system and also in S/4HANA system. Because in ECC we have new GL, in S/4HANA it is completely new GL only. In ECC system, we will be having two options. Option number one, to use classic GL. Option number two, to use a new GL. In S/4HANA system, there is no such option. By default, S/4HANA system works on new GL concept only. Now, next point, what we'll have to do here is, whenever we post any accounting document, below account types are used. Whenever you post any accounting document, below account types we will be using. First one is your GL account. Second one, let's say customer account. Third one, vendor account. Fourth one is your fixed asset account. These are the four account types which we will be using whenever we post any accounting document. In short, your accounting document debit and credit is between these four account types only, majoritarily. Our accounting document debit credit is between these account types only, which are basically GL account, customer account, vendor account, and then fixed asset account. When you're talking about GL account, this is your main ledger. When you're talking about customer account, this is your subledger. Vendor account is a subledger. Fixed asset accounting is also subledger. Fixed asset is also subledger. Next point, financial statements are always prepared from main ledger balances only. This statement you'll have to remember. Financial statements are always prepared from main ledger balances only, which means anything that is representing as a subledger will not be considered for your financial statement preparation. When it comes to financial statement preparation, we were talking about trial balance, P&L, balance sheet. To prepare a TB, to prepare a P&L, to prepare a balance sheet, we will not be using any kind of customer account, any kind of vendor account, any kind of a fixed asset account, because these are all subledgers. Now this subledger is not taken into consideration while preparing a TB, P&L, balance sheet. If we are not considering this, how our trial balance is matching, how we are able to prepare proper P&L statement, how are we able to tally the balance sheet is a question. Now, here we are mentioning we will be considering only the main ledger balances, which means every subledger will have an underlying main ledger, or every subledger is having interconnected or assigned main ledger to it. If I am talking about customer account, if I show you, let's say trial balance. Okay, if I look at trial balance, in trial balance we don't write customer name, we don't write vendor name, we don't write asset name. Am I correct? In trial balance or in balance
Yes.
sheet, do we write customer name? Do we write vendor name? Do you write asset name? For
No,
example,
sir.
if I mention or ABC Private Limited, anybody saw like this in any trial balance, in any balance sheet? Name of a person or name of a company?
No, sir.
right? For example, Dell Latitude 2285, or let's say Honda City 2024 petrol, something like this. Anybody saw
No, sir.
in any TB, any balance sheet?
No, sir.
Now, when you're talking about a customer, you're talking about either name of a person or name of an organization. Similarly, when you're talking about a vendor, again the same name of a person, name of an organization. When you're talking about any asset, you're talking about any physical asset which will be giving you benefit for more than 1 year. I am talking about two things here. One is your laptop, another one is your car. We don't write this in any TB. We don't write this in any balance sheet. Reason, these are subledger account. The only reason is these are subledger account. Any subledger account that you are posting will not be considered directly in your TB P&L balance sheet. We need to make sure subledger is connected to main ledger. Main ledger balance will be taken into account for TB P&L balance sheet. Is my statement correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So what we will do,
Can you please repeat, sir?
I'm writing it. All subledgers are connected to respective main ledgers in accounting, not in SAP, in accounting. And this main ledger is taken to TB, P&L and balance sheet. This will be taken into TB, P&L balance sheet. For example, if I talk about customer names, if I talk about vendor names, if I talk about asset names, this is what you will have. If I'm having a customers, I need to know who are my customer. I can identify my customer only with the help of customer name. Yes, no? I cannot
Yes,
call
sir.
my customer, right? I'll have to tell who is my customer. My customer can be name of a person, or a company. Is this correct? Can I create anybody other than a person, other than company as a customer? It has to be either a person or a company, right? If I have to
Yeah.
sell something of my product, something of my service, I'll have to either sell it to a person or a company. Anything is possible apart from these two.
Yes, sir.
What is possible? Apart from person, apart from company, to whom else you can sell your product
No,
or your
sir. No
service,
worries. Sorry. No, no.
right? It is only two, either a person or a company. Only these two, meaning identification of a customer is easy or difficult. Identifying a
Easy.
customer is easy or difficult, because whenever you find the name of a person, whenever you find the name of an organization, name of a company, it can be a customer account. In short, it can be a subledger posting. Vendor is also same. You can purchase from a person or you can also purchase from a company. Can I mention same thing here also? Name of a person, name of a company,
Yes, sir.
right? So customer, vendor are same. Based on the nature of a transaction, we need to decide whether it is customer or vendor. But the customer identification, vendor identification, in short, subledger identification is based on name of a person, name of an organization. Last one, when you're talking about asset name, it has got a fixed terminologies here. Let's say land, building, furniture, computers, vehicles, softwares, licenses. Am I correct? Anything related to land, building, furniture, computer, vehicle, software, license, can we treat them as a asset?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There is a fixed list of category for asset. There is a fixed list of category from asset. Anything you find a land, nobody will call it as land. Everybody will call land in Hyderabad, land in Mumbai, land in Bangalore, like that, right? You don't call it as I have a land, right? Everybody will ask, where is your land? What is your site number? What is your plot number? What is your, if I say I have a building, in which area you have the building? What is the building number? I cannot just like that say I have a building, right? I need to be very specific. Similarly, I cannot say I have furniture. I need to tell what furniture I have. Whether I have table, I have sofa set, I have chair, what it is I need to specifically mention. I cannot just like that say I have a furniture. Similarly, if I say I have a computer, I need to mention which computer I have, right? Whether it is a desktop, laptop, in desktop, which brand, which model, which OS system, I need to specify or not.
Need to specify.
Similarly, if I have a vehicle, I cannot say I have a vehicle. I need to tell what vehicle I have, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler. Within two-wheeler, is it Honda brand, Hero brand, or Bajaj brand? Which brand I need to tell, which model, which version, all these things I need to specify. Just like that, I cannot say I have a vehicle. Similarly, if I have software, which software do you have? Tally software, Oracle software, SAP software, you need to mention. License, which license you have? Antivirus you have or any other thing you have, you need to mention. Meaning you cannot just like that write name of any subledger account. You'll have to write detailed level of data. Detailed level is at the level at which you're recording the transaction. Customer account means at customer level we record the transaction. Am I correct? Customer account means at customer account level you need to record the transaction. Customer account means customer level. Customer means either a person or an organization, nothing beyond that. Vendor means vendor level you need to record a transaction. Again, vendor is a person, vendor is an organization. Asset mean fixed asset, part of predefined categorizations which are provided by accounting. Everywhere, every company, these are the standard rules. Land and building, plant and machinery and all. Now, if you look at customer, you're talking about this. If I wanted to say something called sundry debtors, anybody heard this?
Yes, sir.
I call it as sundry creditors. Anybody heard this?
Yes, sir.
If I call it as fixed assets, anybody heard this?
Yes.
Right? Sundry debtor, sundry creditor, fixed asset is something which everybody is aware of. The same thing is related to your fixed asset. When we say same thing is related to fixed asset, sundry creditor, sundry debtor, these are all subledger. Now, sundry creditor, or you can also call it as accounts receivable. This also somebody heard?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Sundry creditor or accounts
Accounts
payable. Fixed assets, this is only fixed assets only. No other name for it. This is fixed assets only. This is fixed asset or fixed asset gross net block. Okay, these are the names that we will be using. Now, these things will be represented in your balance sheet or in your trial balance. These things will be represented in your balance sheet or in your trial balance. Here, we need to be very, very particular. While recording any accounting entry, while recording any debit, any credit, now is it easy to identify these three categories or not? If you are posting any journal entry, any debit, any credit, whatever it is, you need to be in a position to identify these three. Anything related to these three is a subledger posting. Anything other than these three is a main ledger posting. Am I clear?
Clear, sir.
Clear, sir. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Now you have something called GL accounts. This is basically everything is part of GL account. In GL account, everything is part of it. That is why we have not listed GL account on the top, as it involves everything. Because you need to make sure GL account or main ledger is taken into consideration while preparing TB P&L balance sheet. Am I correct? For us to consider main ledger for preparation of trial balance, P&L balance sheet. If I ignore any account, if I ignore any transaction, is my accounting correct or incorrect?
Incorrect, sir.
If I ignore any account, if I ignore any transaction, my reports, my account balances will not be accurate, will not be correct. So I need to make sure every account is taken into consideration while preparing TB, while preparing P&L, while preparing balance sheet. Now every account or everything is part of which account? GL account, right?
Yes, sir.
Everything is part of your GL account. When you're talking about GL account, you are by default including subledger also. GL account includes subledger. GL account includes a subledger. Now we were talking about, let's say, let me put some basic accounting entries. First one, rent paid by cash for 2,500. What will be the accounting entry for it?
Rent
Rent
to
account.
cash. Rent to cash.
Rent debit, cash credit. No, I can put 2,500 on the debit side and 2,500 on the credit side. Is this correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
This is correct. Now from this accounting entry, you need to identify debit is which account?
Rent account.
GL
Rent
account.
account.
GL accounts.
This is my GL account. Cash is
GL.
GL account.
GL
GL.
account. Cash is also GL account. Is this accounting entry clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next one, if I say let's say sold materials to Ajay 1,500. What is the accounting entry here?
Ajay account data to sales account.
Ajay debit, sales credit 1,500. Is this accounting entry correct?
Yes, sir.
What is this first account?
It's subledger account.
What subledger?
Customer subledger.
Customer.
Customer account. What is the second account?
GL account.
This is a GL account. Is this accounting entry clear? Is this entry clear? Second one? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next one. Purchased materials from ABC Private Limited 1000. What will be the accounting entry here?
Purchase to
Purchases
ABC
account
Limited.
debited to ABC.
But what are we purchasing here?
Materials.
Inventory.
So let's say I'll put material account debit. Who will be
Yes.
credited?
ABC Private Limited.
ABC.
ABC, sir.
ABC Private Limited credit. Now I'll put 1000 credit number here. Here I'll put 1000 debit number. What is this first account? Material account.
GL account, sir.
Subledger.
GL.
GL account. ABC Private Limited.
Vendor account.
Vendor account.
Vendor account.
Vendor account. Is this accounting entry clear?
Yes, sir.
This is also clear. Okay. Let me put purchased. Let's say Honda City car from uh, for 3000. Ignore the numbers. What will be the entry for it?
Sir, vehicle account data to Hyderabad Motors.
Which vehicle?
Honda City.
Honda City debit. It's 3000. Credit.
Hyderabad Motors.
Is this entry correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Last one. What about this?
XYZ Limited debit
Debit
to
to Honda City.
Honda City.
XYZ Limited debit Honda City credit. 2200 and then 2200. The way whatever we have listed here, Honda City is which account?
Asset
GL
account. Asset account.
This is a fixed asset account. Hyundai Hyderabad Motors,
Vendor account.
Vendor.
Vendor.
XYZ Limited,
Customer.
Customer.
Creditor.
customer.
Honda City,
Fixed asset account.
fixed asset account. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are these 5 accounting entries clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Clearer? These 5 accounting entries. Now, whenever you post any accounting entry, this is how you are going to record. When you write a journal entry, when you book any accounting entry, this is what we are going to write as a debit and credit. Am I correct? For example, if you look at the first one, you paid rent by cash for 2,500. Whether you write in a paper, whether you write in any accounting application, your accounting will remain the same, rent account debit, cash account credit, or are we going to change the accounting entry the moment you change your application? Like in Tally one accounting entry, Oracle different entry, SAP different entry, or everywhere it is the same accounting entry,
It
Same.
is same, sir.
Same.
Same.
Everywhere it
Everywhere
is same.
same.
right? Everywhere this is going to be the same accounting entry. Debit and credit, what kind of accounts are there?
GL accounts.
Debit is a GL account, credit is also a GL account.
Yes.
Debit is a GL account, credit is also a GL account, right? Second one, you have sold material to Ajay for 1,500. Debit is Ajay account, credit is a sales account. Debit we are talking about customer account, credit we are talking about GL account. In any application, is this the exact accounting entry we write, or are we going to change the accounting entry?
Exact accounting entry.
We are going to account the same accounting entry in any application. Am I correct? You will be debiting customer account only. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Similarly,
Yes, sir.
whenever you make any purchases, you will debit the material whatever you are purchasing. You are going to credit your vendor account, ABC Private Limited. In any application, do you credit vendor account or you credit any other account?
We'll
Vendor
credit
Vendor
account
vendor
will
account.
create.
It will be vendor account only, right? Similarly, whenever you are purchasing anything related to asset, do you debit or credit asset account directly or any other account?
Asset account. Tech will give.
We will be debiting or crediting asset accounting only. If you are purchasing Honda City car, you'll have to debit or you'll have to credit Honda City car only. Only then in report you will get to know I have purchased a car called Honda City. What is the value of my car? I can identify, I can check only when I debit to Honda City car. Yes, no?
Yes, it is.
Now, in the first entry, if you look at it, this is your accounting entry related to can I call this as GL to GL entry?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is GL to GL entry. Am I correct? Why GL to GL entry?
Debit and credit both are GL accounts
Both are
together.
GL.
Both are GL account.
Because debit and credit both are GL account. Second one,
This is
That
customer
cannot
to
be
GL.
Sub GL and
customer
GL
is
accounts.
sublected.
right? Let's say
Subledger.
GL and a customer entry. Okay. Third one, GL and vendor
Sub
entry.
GL and sub GL.
This one, this is your
Subledger to subledger.
fixed asset to vendor
Vendor.
entry.
Vendor.
This one fixed asset to
Customer.
customer entry. Are these classifications clear? Why GL to GL entry? Why GL to customer? Why GL to vendor? Why asset to vendor? Why asset to customer? Are these clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, while entering any accounting document, we need to post debit and credit to the respective account. Main or subledger. Am I correct? Is this correct? While entering any accounting document, we need to post debit and credit to the respective account,
Yes, sir.
either main ledger or subledger. That is where we were debiting, crediting customer, vendor, fixed asset, GL.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Now, the entry with accounts we entered manually, main or sub GL, is represented as entry view in SAP. If you remember on the top, we were talking about there are 3 views in ACC in S/4HANA system, 2 views in ACC for accounting document. What are those 2 views in ACC?
Entry view.
Review general ledger view.
Entry view, general ledger view.
Entry view and general ledger view. Entry view means data entry view. Entry view means data entry view. Before you enter anything, you cannot tell system what is to be debited, what is to be credited, right? Am I correct? How system will know what is debit, what is credit until you enter the document? Is that correct? We need to enter debit, we need to enter credit. Only then system will understand what is this debit, what is this credit, or system automatically recognizes what is debit, what is credit. Or we need to enter manually.
We need to enter manually.
We need to enter manually. Everywhere debit, credit, you'll have to pass it manually to SAP. Whatever the debit, whatever the credit we are passing, we are telling system manually or directly is represented as entry view. Okay. Now, in entry view, we will write and see main ledgers and subledgers as we entered in the document. In entry view, we will write and we will see main ledger and subledger as we entered in document. Whatever the main ledger, whatever the subledger that you entered manually, same thing as it is you can see in the entry view of a document. Either you are posting or you are displaying it, it will be the same. Okay. Example, you can take this one. I can call it as entry view. I can call this as entry view. Next view, we had something called while simulating any document, we have another option called general ledger view. Okay. General ledger view displays only main ledgers from the accounts entered in entry view. In entry view, what are the accounts that were entered? What are the two accounts?
Subledger and
What
ledger.
are the
GL.
two accounts? What are the two accounts? Account
Customer
names.
account.
Customer account,
Customer to
sales.
GL.
Sales
Sales.
account. Now, customer account is represented as which main ledger account? In your TB, do you write customer account or you write any other account?
Accounts receivable.
Accounts receivable or sundry creditor, sundry debtor, am I correct?
Yes, sir. Sunday date.
Debit 1500. Sales is a GL account. GL account, there is no change. GL will remain GL only. Sales credit 1500. Any change in this account? Any change in the this is your general ledger view. Any change in this accounting entry or it is exactly the same?
It's the same.
Exactly same, sir.
Debit credit?
Yes.
Look at this debit, look at this debit. Any change or it is exactly same?
Change, sir, change.
Instead of customer, we completely consider as Sunday debtors or accounts receivable.
Right? In the entry view, system is representing customer account. In the general ledger view, customer account is replaced with accounts receivable or sundry debtor. Yes, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because we are understanding in the general ledger view, only main ledgers are displayed, not the subledger. Customer account is a subledger. Customer account is connected to accounts receivable. In your general ledger view, system will not show customer account number or customer name. Instead, it will show the customer reconciliation account. Which account?
Customer
Customer
reconciliation.
reconciliation.
Customer
Customer
reconciliation.
reconciliation account. Now, entry view will not match the debit and credit balances at profit center level. Entry view will not match the debit and credit balances at profit center level. General ledger will match the debit and credit balances at profit center level. So in entry view, having seen these two statements, now, do you get profit center level balance matching in entry view? Yes or no?
No.
In entry view,
No,
No.
sir.
do we get profit center level matching?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
No.
No, sir.
No.
If I put a column called profit center here. Now, in the previous statement or in the above, we've listed something called profit center accounting or document splitting is applicable for all the accounts or only for the main ledger account.
Mainly.
Main
Main
ledger.
Main ledger.
Document splitting, we understood it is applicable only for the main ledger, not applicable for the subledger. According to that statement, while recording my entry, whenever you post any debit and credit, are we going to update entry view or general ledger view?
General ledger view.
What are we going to update while posting any accounting entry?
Entry level.
entry view. General ledger view is automatically updated by SAP. User will always update only entry view while posting any debit and credit. Without entry view, general ledger view is not possible. This is done by the system automatically. We have no control on general ledger view. Am I clear? On general ledger view, we have no control. It is taken care by SAP. Whatever the debit credit that you're writing in SAP, any debit, any credit you're writing in SAP is purely representing entry view or data entry view. Clear? Right? Now, yesterday we understood account assignment called profit center or any other thing. Is it applicable for Subledger or not applicable?
Not applicable.
Not applicable. Sir.
Applicable Subledger.
Not applicable for Subledger. In that case, for customer account, will I be able to write any profit center or I will not be able to write any profit center?
No.
No.
I cannot write any profit center for customer account because field is not enabled for customer. Document splitting is not intended or profit center is not intended for subledger accounting. Customer is a subledger. For customer account, I cannot put any profit center. For GL account, is it applicable or not?
Yes.
Sir.
It is
Yes, it's applicable. It's main GL.
For GL account, it is applicable. Let's say, let me put profit center 1 here. Okay, I'll put profit center 1. This is statement. If you read the first statement, if you read this first statement, what is first statement telling? Is this going to match debit credit at profit center level or not?
Not.
Not.
This is not going to match. Reason, in the data entry view, not every account will have profit center, right? In data entry view, not every account will have profit center. This example, customer account will not have any profit center. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
That is why
Yes.
this is not matching at entry level. When it comes to general ledger level or general ledger, is this going to match balance at profit center level or not?
Yeah, it
Yes.
will match.
Match.
Yes.
Needs
It
to
will
be,
match.
sir.
Right? This is going to match. Now, when we know this is going to match at this level, we need to make sure profit center is updated at both debit and credit level.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
So from the entry level view, where is profit center?
GL.
Sales account.
GL.
GL.
Right? Here there is a profit center. From here, profit center will come here. Where is profit center missing?
Sundry data.
Sundry debtor
Debit
account,
side
accounts
missing.
receivable account, or on the debit side, profit center is missing. Now, if I don't put profit center here, will I be able to update the document or match the document at balance level, profit center wise?
No.
No.
No, right? Because profit center 1 is having only credit balance. There is no debit balance for profit center. So profit center wise, I'll not be able to balance the amount. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right? If profit center wise balance you're not able to match, accounting entry is not possible. System will straight away throw an error stating called balancing field profit center not filled up error will come. Whenever system is unable to match or tally debit and credit at profit center level, that accounting entry is not possible in SAP. In any company, in any organization, it is not possible. Even when you're practicing, keep strictly in your mind, no profit center, no accounting document, no matter what. If you're able to post accounting document without profit center, whatever the practice that you're doing, it is of no use. Whatever the topic you're understanding, whatever the effort you're putting, config, all is time waste. No questions asked, everything is time waste, everything is useless. It is like you are playing with a dummy car. It's just like that you are playing with a dummy car because it is not actually traveling anywhere. You'll have to make sure your accounting document is posted always with profit center on the debit and credit. No excuses here, no exceptions here. Do not even think this is practice system, it is okay, not okay. Anywhere it is not okay. Even when you are practicing, it is strictly not okay. Do not make any changes in the document splitting. It is a client level one-time setting only. When we say it is a client level one-time setting, nobody is supposed to touch that configuration in any project. If you change that configuration, your company will change you from the job. Changing a document splitting configuration is equivalent to changing your job. Company will simply throw you out of the company. Nobody will tolerate if these mistakes are made in any project. Strictly you will be terminated if these kind of changes are made in any project. Keep in your mind. It's a one-time setting. Without profit center, no company code, no client, no user will be able to record any debit, any credit. No exception, no excuses even when you're practicing. Am I clear? Because
Yes,
at
sir.
profit center level, we are going to generate trial balance, P&L, balance sheet. Is it
Yes.
okay if there is any problem in TB, if there is any problem in P&L balance sheet, or not okay?
Not okay, sir.
This is something very serious problem. If there is a problem in TB, P&L, balance sheet, there is a very serious problem. Usually this will not come if your settings are properly maintained. By default, SAP comes with document splitting enabling. And if you make any configuration changes, you'll have to decide based on the reporting requirement. One time only we will put the setting. Later on, nobody is supposed to touch that setting. No matter what, nobody is supposed to touch this setting. If you are touching that setting, everything will go for a toss. Everything will go for a toss. You will be on the spot terminated. Nobody will tolerate this mistake. Nobody will tolerate this mistake. Do not be with a mindset, I am practicing, let me experiment something, let me explore something. There are certain things where you should not experiment, where you should not explore anything. Whatever is there, blindly read it, blindly remember it, blindly follow that. That's it. 0.01 possibility of thinking beyond the line, or not even getting a thought that let me try what will happen if I do it. When we know that this is impossible to change in any project, do not try to change it, do not try to experiment anything here. There are many areas where you can experiment, where you can explore. Put your efforts there, but not here. Clear, right? Now here, if I'm not able to put profit center, if I'm not able to put profit center here, will I be able to write this, post this entry or not?
Not. We cannot post.
No, we cannot.
We cannot post this accounting
We
entry.
cannot.
So profit center is missing here. Now this missing profit center is what we need to fill up. For filling up this missing profit center, you will be using, or system will be using, document splitting. Document splitting functionality will come into picture for filling profit center here. Document splitting functionality will come into the picture for filling profit center here. Now it will not straight away fill up profit center. There are again three types of splitting that we talked about. What are those three types of document splitting?
Active documents.
Active,
Active,
passive, and zero
zero
balance splitting.
Right? We were talking about active document splitting. We were talking about passive document splitting. We were also talking about zero balance document splitting. Now these things will come into the picture based on the transaction. Those who have background noise, please go on mute. Okay. So based on the nature of a transaction, system will be updating, or system will be picking up the appropriate splitting method, either active or passive or zero balance splitting. Now in this case, what is the nature of transaction here? This
Active
accounting
splitting.
entry, this accounting entry is called as what? What entry?
Active splitting.
Hmm?
Active splitting.
What is the nature
Yes,
of transaction?
passive.
Nature of a transaction. I'm not
Sales,
talking
sales
about
entry.
splitting method.
Sales,
I'm
sales.
talking about nature of
Sales.
business transaction.
Sales, sir. Sales. and-
Sales.
Sales
Sale.
transaction.
Now, whenever you make any sale, what do you receive?
Cash.
What do you give to your customer when you make a sale? What do you give to your customer?
We'll receive goods and we will pay cash.
Goods.
Yes.
To customer, what do you give?
Goods.
We'll pay to customer cash.
Invoice.
Invoice is what you will provide to the customer whenever you make a sale. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
If you sell something, is invoice mandatory or not?
Yes.
Mandate.
Right?
It is.
So we are not supposed to call this as a sales transaction. Instead, you call it as invoice transaction or invoice transaction type. Am I clear? This is called as whose invoice, customer or vendor?
Customer.
Invoice.
Customer invoice. We'll have to represent this as customer invoice posting or customer invoice transaction, not sales entry. Tomorrow when you're talking to your interviewer or anybody, you're not supposed to tell sales transaction, sales entry. Instead, tell that customer invoicing, customer billing. Am I clear? There are certain places where we'll have to remember, where we'll have to quote same terminology that is used in a real environment. Though your sales is also correct, but the other person will not take it in the right way. So when you tell customer invoicing, customer billing, everybody will say, yes, this candidate knows the subject properly. Does not mean that the other term is incorrect. That is also correct. But based on the situation, based on the scenario, that is not appropriate there. In some places, we have to strictly follow the terminology. We have to strictly tell the same information there. Now here, system is going to use one document splitting method to bring the profit center here. Whenever you are talking about any kind of a transaction, now this is invoice transaction,
Yes, sir.
right? This is your invoice transaction. On all invoice transaction, it is going to use on all invoice transactions, SAP will use active document splitting. On all invoice transactions, SAP will use active document splitting. Now this is invoice transaction or not?
Yes.
Yes.
In invoice transaction, system will be using active document splitting. Now active document splitting is always profit center and subledger will be derived based on offsetting main ledger. At any invoice transaction level, you will have subledger, main ledger. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Right. If you look at entry view, this is the customer invoice. Customer account debit, sales account credit. Sales is a GL account,
Yes.
Yes, it
right?
is.
Sales is a GL account, and this is a main ledger. Customer is a subledger. Now, how system will bring profit center into subledger based on the main ledger?
Yes, sir.
Am I correct? On all invoice transaction, system will use active document splitting. Based on active document splitting, profit center in subledger will be derived based on offsetting main ledger account. In this, what is the offsetting main ledger account? Offsetting means where is your subledger opposite side? Offsetting is always representing opposite. Subledger is what?
Sales.
Customer.
Customer.
Now, customer offsetting means if your customer is on the debit side, offsetting is credit side. Am I correct?
Yes.
If customer is debit, offsetting means am I talking about credit or not?
Yes.
Right? On the credit side, in which you have a main ledger account, which profit center is listed there?
Sales.
Profit center 1.
Offset.
Profit center 1. This profit center one will be updated here automatically by SAP based on document splitting functionality, that too active document splitting here. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Just try to get an idea so that you will
Yes.
be familiar with what is this. Because right from your first accounting entry that you post in SAP, this is something that is strictly supposed to sit in your mind. Not something that I will understand later on in middle or towards the end of my course. Not going to work out. Your total SAP FICO course is not going to be helpful. Any debit credit that you post, right from the first accounting entry, you should be very clear with this. You should be very clear with this. Otherwise, so many errors will come, so many issues will come when you're practicing, when you're posting entries. You will never understand why the error is coming, because these errors are not because of your config. These errors are because of system behavior. You're not able to understand the system behavior. You're trying to do configuration, trying to post entries. You will never understand why errors are coming. Errors are coming because you're not understanding basic logics in SAP, basic fundamentals of SAP. Okay, till here I want everybody to go through once. In the tomorrow's session, I will talk about further more examples in which you will clearly understand more about active document splitting, more about passive document splitting, more about zero balance document splitting, along with the debit credit accounting entries. Whatever the entries we listed here, I'll make you understand how to convert or how to read, how to understand whether this is your active splitting, passive splitting, zero balance splitting. How do we understand it? How system is going to understand if there are any errors coming, why the errors are coming, what we need to check, where we need to check, on what basis the system is understanding, while posting the journal entries debit credit, what parameters we need to consider. I'll make you understand crystal clear in the tomorrow's session. But meanwhile, I want everybody to read through these points, whatever we have listed. Every point listed here is very, very important to understand document splitting in a logical way. When you see this, you may be able to see so many points, but when you summarize it after looking at tomorrow's session, it is very simple. It is very, very simple. No complication here, because it is all taken care by SAP. You just need to understand how SAP is working. That's all. For us to understand, these are all required, and these points are helpful in multiple places wherever you post accounting entry. Okay, fine then. Let me stop this here.